What a great idea. In keeping with the theme of kids and food, you've of course heard the saying, it's as easy as taking candy from a baby, but letting go of that candy and other sugary goodies becomes increasingly difficult as we get older. The trick is to figure out a few creative ways to swap out the sweet treats with other treats that can't be beat. Here with some suggestions, Carolyn Durr with the UK Extension Service. And thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So we're talking about this specifically because it's a good time, Childhood Obesity Awareness Month, right?
It is. That's our theme this month in September. And so we want to focus on building healthy habits with our children. And one of those things we can do is cutting back on sweet treats.
Sure.
So often we're encouraging our children to eat healthy, but we might reward them with a treat such as ice cream or an extra cookie if you finish your vegetables.
Exactly. So what does that do to their psychology?
Right.
I think that kind of sets you up through life.
Exactly. And you develop that sweet tooth that you think of as an adult, and you can probably remember that starting back when you got sweets as a child.
Sure, sure. It's that reward.
Exactly.
You think of it as a better food.
Yes.
Than the rest of your food.
Yes, and we want to think about all foods in moderation are part of a healthy diet and to teach our kids that at a young age.
And that can start with them just learning how to read nutrition labels with you, right?
Exactly. So there's a lot of foods that are marketed to kids as fun foods, but usually they're filled with sugar.
Right.
And so we want them to learn how to spot those healthier choices. So if your child is old enough, you can teach them to look for sugar on the label, and they can help you, and it empowers them to make good choices.
And that's not just for the treats. They can be searching for those the sugar in those labels on things they may not think of a treat, like, I don't know, like some canned ravioli or something.
Yes.
You will find there's a lot of sugar packed in those too.
That's right, and it's hidden in things like breakfast cereals that are targeted to kids. Even flavored yogurts can have a lot of sugar.
Sure.
So some of those breakfast options, we want to choose something healthier that's just as convenient. So you can do some quick oatmeal with a toppings bar with dried fruit and nuts, and let them do that instead of a sugar-filled granola bar.
Sounds like a good swap to make. And good to start them early so that they get into that habit and become something normal for them. They don't associate the sweets with the reward system.
Right.
So you've got some great alternatives that will still satisfy that need for something a little bit sweet, or maybe, you know, something that feels like a dessert, but it's actually good for you.
That's right, and fruit is a great alternative for those sweet desserts.
Yes.
So a real simple, fun thing for a child would be to grab a grapefruit and then just top with honey and cinnamon. I've roasted it for a few minutes in the toaster oven.
Oh.
Yes, and they have a fun little bowl there.
Yeah,
so
and it's kind of like caramelized on top. So
that's right.
It reminds me of a creme brulee almost.
Yes.
Love that.
Yes.
This banana looks fantastic too. What did you do to that?
Just a little banana pop here we've got with peanut butter. You could use yogurt covered in granola, so it's a healthy alternative to maybe ice cream or that banana split.
That sounds awesome, and it looks amazing too. What do you have here? They look almost like yogurt raisins.
That's right. Yeah, little yogurt-covered blueberries, a great snack in the car. You can throw them in a bag and toss them back to the kids before practice, and healthier than those sugar-filled fruit snacks that we sometimes reach for.
So you can grab them, put them in, you know, a container, a bite-sized amount or whatever.
Yes.
Just grab them out of the freezer when you go.
Love
that. Okay, and one thing that I've also been trying to do just as an adult is cutting down the sugar in my beverages, and there's tons of it in fruit juice.
That's right. There is a lot of sugar in fruit juice. Sometimes it's naturally occurring, but in our diets we get a lot of added sugar from soda. And so that could start at a young age with kids where they start getting that craving.
Sure.
So an easy swap would be, I've got 100% orange juice here. You can do about half and half of that with some seltzer water, combine it, and it gets that craving for a carbonated beverage, a little bit of natural sweetness from the juice, and kind of kicks your craving for that soda.
Fantastic. All right, well, Carolyn, where can people go if they're looking for more of these swaps or ideas of incorporating sweets that aren't really sweets?
That's right. You can always contact your local extension office, find out about more resources for cooking healthy, and also find out about any classes going on in your area.
Perfect. You guys have great resources, great recipes. Thank you for sharing these ideas with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And Eric's back with the final check of your forecast coming up after the break.